That's right, George. Wow. Thank you all so much. What an absolute honor to be with you all tonight. I am so blessed to have you all in my life. And I have spent the last year going to a different religious institution across our city every week. And so every week I'll either go to a church, I've been to many synagogues, I've been to many mosques, and it's so, I'm looking at people because I'm wondering if we got some results in the last 30 seconds. No? Okay. Okay. Maybe that's just me being out of breath from my dance. And it's been so inspiring to me to be in all of these spaces that are different people with different backgrounds who are showing up to be a part of their community and have welcomed me with open arms and open hearts. And I've really realized how similar we all are and how similar and transcendent so many of these messages are. Whether it was at the 19th Street Baptist Church talking about our responsibility for the next generation of civil rights and how we all have a responsibility to participate in it. Whether it was at the Washington Hebrew congregation talking about as bystanders, we have to observe when we see hate and love and participate in the love so we can keep all of each other safe. Whether it was at the Masjid Muhammad, where we spoke about how all of our life choices are so intertwined in his plan. And it's been a really moving year running this campaign, not based off of what divides us or different communities or different neighborhoods or different races or religions that we are all a part and which are all a big part of our various communities, but really what brings us together in our shared love of Washington and our shared responsibility of humanity. And it's really that experience that has given me such deep faith in you all, in the people of our city, and in what we can accomplish when we work together. And every day I think about the children of our city and the next generation that they're growing into, and all of our responsibility, no matter who you are, to ensure that we are building a city and a community for them that lives up to their potential. This city is much more than what it has been or what it will become. We all have to continue moving it forward, and I know we can do that together. And it's why, while I love my job deeply on the council, serving you all, I knew that there was a greater responsibility that I had this year. When I met Maria, whose husband was taken by ICE, and I couldn't locate him in an ICE detention facility, I knew that we had to stand up to this administration and ensure that all Washingtonians and all people, regardless of your immigration status, have a right to be safe and secure in our city. I knew I had to do something. It's why when I met William, whose entire family had been priced out of the District of Columbia and who he himself is paying 60% of his income on rent, knew that we had to develop a bold federal housing plan to dramatically drive down costs in the District of Columbia. And it's why when I met Khadija, who told me in her home that she had lost 2 of her sons to gun violence, I knew that I had no greater responsibility than to work alongside everyone in our community to fight for a safe city that everyone deserves. No one and no mother should lose their child to gun violence. And we know our city is so much more than the monuments and the headlines. It's really about the progress that we as a people are deeply committed to. And let me tell you, and you all know, our people continue pushing us towards progress. Yes. They will not allow the status quo, and that is okay. That is a good thing. We will keep fighting together for progress. So I appreciate all of you very much. I want to thank many people in this room that have been so important to this campaign effort and to me as a human being. I want to thank our incredible co-chairs, Gretchen Wharton and Sean. Gretchen Wharton and Sean.
Okay, so we've been listening to Brooke Pinto speak to her supporters there about the campaign, what compelled her to run for DC delegate, and really what she hopes for the future as well. And now it's an opportunity to bring in our panel here. The speech that we're hearing from Brooke Pinto is demonstrably different than what we heard from Robert White. What do you make of that, Linda?
It certainly is. There was a lot more energy from Robert White. It seems like Brooke Pinto is not speaking like a winner. She's speaking in the past tense. She seems to be a little bit morose, despite the smiling.
Yeah.
And it's not a concession speech by any means, but it's not a winner's speech either. The speech that we heard from Robert White was powerful. It had very good salient points to it. Maybe they had a bunch of ranked choice speeches in case they won or they lost or et cetera, but he clearly had prepared for the winner's speech. I don't think that it appears to be the same thing with Brooke Pinto.
Yeah. With that said, you know, looking at where the cards are right now, what do you think is next for Brooke Pinto if she does not win? We know a lot of folks on the council, maybe they aspire to the role of mayor. Usually the DC delegate role, because of Eleanor Holmes Norton and her stature, people wouldn't touch that. But in this case, you know, making this jump to DC delegate and also still talking about of local council issues was a bit disjointed, it seemed.
Yeah, I think the campaign for her was a bit disjointed from the beginning, and I think the reason might be because she didn't quite, I think, decide what was most important for her as a candidate to speak about and what she's good at. I don't think she translated her effective messaging on the campaign trail as a counselor to effective messaging in this delegate race. She's talked about three main issues about housing, but as you just emphasized, Lorenzo, these are very local issues, state level issues, but very limited influence on the federal level as relates to creating more housing infrastructure. She, in her speech, she did refer to, you know, no mom having to lose her child from lack of gun safety, and that is, yes, absolutely an issue in Washington, D.C. It happens. Any one person is too many, and it happens weekly here. And so I think she certainly can touch the fabric of hearts of voters in DC who are care about housing infrastructure. We have seen actually her opponent fight a lot with the housing authority here and finding, you know, violations and flagrancies both public housing and also you know, with landlords and private housing of low-income residents. And so it's an issue that council has been dealing with, but as a candidate for, you know, to replace Eleanor Holmes Norton, who's been such a champion for equal rights, a champion for women's rights, a champion for civil rights being for everybody, not just for black folks, a champion for DC, a champion for representation for everybody. For the 700,000 people here, I'm not sure Brooke Pinto ever really captured the message that she heard on the streets when she's then sitting back with her campaign staff, finding a way to crunch that narrative into a futuristic story. Elections are about the future, and that speech she just gave was very much, like Linda was saying, morose. Larry was saying melancholy, and it was just about the past. And so when you hear a candidate saying that, they are probably suspecting that they're going to lose, but that also is not the way I would recommend she go out on this way. You ask what's next for her, which already, right, you're focused on the future about what's next for her, right? She should have been as well.